We should observe the ancient ritual of traditional pre-fight donuts.
Yeah!
Fear does not exist in this dojo, does it?
Am I the baddest mofo low down around this time?
Shut up!
Break, not hit back.
Silly Caucasian girl likes to play with samurai swords.
You will all refer to me by the name Betty.
I know Kung Fu.
Thank you, Chuck Norris.
I said I don't want trouble.
Only an idiot can destroy a ninja.
Defeat does not exist in this dojo, does it? No,
Now, who wants to go home? And who wants to go with me?
Boom! Super dramatic music. Boom. Hey, everybody! Welcome to Kickflix. Hey. Yeah. Thank you, everybody, for joining us here at the Kickflix podcast. My name is Mike Mercadal. With me, as always, is
Nery Saenz.
I did not say my fight name because we're going to get into it, but it's ethnicity, Mike Mercadal, because that's what happened in this movie. Hey, everybody, thank you for joining us. A Kickflix pod, a comedy martial arts movie podcast where we talk about our favorite Kickflix movies. It's a separate category. We're trying to the boundaries are very vague of what makes a Kickflix movie. Yes. But there has to be some martial arts in it. There has to be some fighting. There has to be a montage of some kind. That's a given, right? There has to be a montage, and then there has to be some sort of is a tournament required? Is some sort of
I gotta be honest, like required? None of these things were like. I love the fact that how your mind works, because I didn't think of any of these things. I was just like, is there any martial arts in it? Like that's all I've ever.
That's it.
Thought about. Like that's it. That's my requirement. Like I've never needed and again, because if the movie has martial arts, there's typically all these other things that Mike is talking about. So I get where your mind is at, but I never needed any one of these things. I never had a checklist of like, does it have a montage? I'm like, well, I mean, if it's a martial arts movie, it usually does, but I never needed
usually
it per se.
Yeah. I'm not saying, I guess it's not a qualifier of like, it's not a Kickflix without these things, but every Kickflix movie should have like some rating scale of like, how good was the montage? Or, that there's always these are tropes of martial arts movie podcasts, martial arts movies that we can comment on, because that we can, those are lines we can draw showing connections from one Kickflix movie to another. You can follow us at Kickflix Pod on all social media platforms. You can follow us individually at Mike Mercadal, at Nery Saenz on all social media platforms. And you can get all of our podcasts on the GeekBro network, which if you go to YouTube, go to GeekBro Net, you can find all of the other podcasts, the WooBro podcasts, all that stuff. WooBro Pod on social media, you can find that there as well. But if you follow us individually, you'll get it. This week's episode, episode of Kickflix is 2011's Warrior. Oh, 2011! What a time to be alive! 2011.
What a time! Remember that
in the quote unquote before times.
Burgers used to cost a nickel. It was a whole thing.
Yeah. A gallon of gas was free. The 2011. It's the movie Warrior. It's an MMA drama that I want to say it might be one of my number one. It's like a great movie in and of itself. Like it's not just a Kickflix movie. This is one of those movies that we could say it's just a movie that has MMA in it as its backdrop, but they really like nailed the drama of it. And it's one of those where I wish my wife had watched it with me, because I'm like, we watch movies for these podcasts all the time, and she always sits to watch the ones where I'm like, maybe you shouldn't have watched Iron Monkey with me. Yeah. Maybe you shouldn't have watched Shaolin Soccer with me. But this is the one where I'm like, no, this is good. This is a different version. It's
so funny because I have so my thought process for this, and to piggyback off what you're saying, that this movie is so good that I had a hard time writing comedy for it. Because it's so much easier to write a joke for a movie that even though we love, we can acknowledge, oh, that's bad acting or a bad scene or bad writing or bad whatever.
A special
so
effect or whatever.
Yeah, special effect or whatever. So it's so much easier to write a joke for that. But I found myself watching this movie and I was like, I don't know if I have any jokes for this. This is fucking great. Good.
Yeah, it's just good. It's just good. And also, not only is it just good, but it is like a good example of like, just because you're making a martial arts movie doesn't mean you can't tell a good story. Like, the story's good. It's well structured. We'll get into it, but this is one of those movies where I remember I hadn't seen it, and you told me you need to watch this movie because you don't know who to root for at the end.
You don't. And I still stand by that.
I've watched literally. Yes.
Yeah.
I've
rewatched this movie a million times, and I'm like, I'm like, yeah, fuck. I wish you. Damn it, that's good. Whatever. Whoever wins.
It's and as you're watching it, we'll get into it as we do the descriptions. But as you're watching it, you're like, the whole time, it's like, man, this is good. I remember being blown away by it when I first watched it, and I encourage, if you haven't watched it yet, we are going to go through the whole thing, so spoilers abound. But it's, even if you know the ending, it's worth watching because it is that well structured. This is Warrior from 2011, rated PG-13, right? Not really any R-rated stuff.
Hold on, Daniel, on our Instagram, Daniel Wagner was like, "What are we talking about?" It's just he said that he just got here. We're talking about the movie Warrior, so we are reviewing the movie Warrior, and that's what we're going to be reviewing. Yeah,
we're talking about Warrior from 20. There is a Warrior from 2019. Which was a weird Bruce Lee movie, I think. So there are other Warriors, and there's also the Warrior. There's the Warriors. Trust me, it was it's like maybe their branding was rough on this movie. They could have called it something else, like the Conlon Boys or some.
Well, it's so funny because I've been on I'm on these Facebook groups for movies and whatever, and they're like, "Oh, my favorite movie is Gladiator," and then somebody would put which one. And they're like, nobody's talking about the Cuba Gooding Jr. one. Nobody's talking about this. Like, what are you talking about it? But then people will be like, my favorite was the Cuba Gooding Jr. Gladiator. And I'm like, shut up. Stop it. Stop.
The internet contains multitudes. But yeah, this is 2011's Warrior. The logline for the movie: the youngest son of an alcoholic former boxer returns home where he's trained by his father for competition in a mixed martial arts tournament. A path
That's a tagline?
A path that puts the fighter on a collision course with his estranged older brother. It's basically, that's not the tagline. It's like the log line.
The description.
Yeah, it's the description. The taglines for the movie: fight for country, fight for family. I was like, all right, okay. Family is worth fighting for.
Okay.
I'm like, okay, that's good. Oh yeah, that's the only two. But those are the taglines on the poster, not an alcoholic father.
Yeah, that's what I was like. What? This is weird. That's the longest poster. Jesus Christ!
Like a thick paragraph of text.
It's like that Looney Tunes cartoons when Bugs Bunny goes into the army and he gets his eye exam. And he's like, and the fucking eye doctors were like, what?
Yeah. Wow, what a pull. What a great reference that was. It's so good.
He just was reading that, sticking the poster, all the little copyright 1970.
Oh, good stuff. So we have, as always with Kickflix, we want to make sure that your parents know what's going into when you watch it with your kids, because this is something that you because I think when we started doing this, you were showing your kids a little bit. Which
not
some of
movie,
these movies, some exactly. That's why we do the parents guide, so people know what we're getting into.
Yeah.
This
actually, I could have shown my kid. My daughter was born in 2011, so yeah, I could have shown her this.
She's old. No, yeah, she's old enough.
She wouldn't remember anything. She just saw flashing lights.
Lights. She's just can't even hold her head up.
little sack of potatoes. Like,
yeah. You see that? You see that's called a kimura. Yeah. So we have it. Warriors rated PG-13, as we mentioned, for sequences of intense mixed martial arts fighting, some language, and thematic material. Which
how many GDs?
Nailed it.
How many?
Yeah, GDs? There's a few. I don't know, but let's start with of course, there's always The rankings are none, mild, moderate, or severe. And in terms of sex and nudity, what do you think?
None.
None. There are ring girls and men fighting without shirts, but it's not considered sexual nudity or nudity.
Isn't it weird how guys without shirts is not considered topless?
It's the literal definition of topless, but it's not topless.
But we don't call it topless. We're like, oh, did you see was there any topless nudity? And you're like, no. And meanwhile, every scene had a topless. Every scene had a fucking, like, it's such a weird.
Yeah, that's what Kickflix is all about: destroying the gender, the patriarchy, violence and gore.
Severe.
Well, it only got moderate. Again, this is on IMDb, and
here's
why:
because violence and gore should not be mixed together. So if it was just violence, it would be severe. But if it was gore, I agree with the moderate.
Yeah. I will say one of these things that fighting does not start until around an hour and a half in the movie.
Well, that's where you're wrong, buddy. That's where you're wrong. The first scene of the movie, he's fighting alcoholism. So
he's fighting demons. Yeah.
So you're fighting demons, man.
It's a movie about martial arts fights, but most of the fights are over quick and mild. No gore is ever shown. I mean, it's fair.
That's fair.
Profanity. What do you think?
Mild?
Mild, yeah. 2 to 3 of Jesus and oh my God. Insulting and hurtful words are exchanged by estranged relatives, which, to be fair, some of the stuff that is said that is clean and perfectly good language is devastating.
Like, just like I would rather you say go fuck yourself than, oh, that's some nice old man. Jesus Christ,
that's some nice old man, or I will get into it.
That's nobody. Oh, Jesus Christ! Just tell me to go fuck myself, man. Jesus.
When showing pictures of the kids, it's like, I don't know them. So why are you showing me pictures of strangers I don't know? But yeah, great. So yeah, bastard is said at least 5 times. This is the receipt that you get on the IMDb parental guide. Bastard is said at least 5 times. Shit is said several times, including some uses of bullshit. Ass is said a few times. Hell is said a few times. Fuck is said once. I didn't register it. But
is this movie rated R? By the way, I'm asking.
PG-13. PG-13.
That's why. It's already,
but it's said once. But
they got that one.
Here.
They get that one. Fuck.
They get that one. Damn is said at least once. Goddamn is said 3 times.
Ooh, GD.
Chris Kringle. The alcohol, drugs, and smoking.
Alcohol. I would say, mild.
Yeah, it's mild. The character is shown to be a pill popper, and then like when he gets the pill bottles and stuff, and then
I was thinking more of the alcohol abuse. Like there was that whole scene.
I
was thinking that
alcoholism is big on this one. Is a big theme in this movie. Frightening and intense scenes is. Mild. It's mild. All of the MMA fight scenes are extremely brutal, especially the final fight. But it's the movie has an overall dark and emotional tone. Correct. So yeah, it's basically like just emotionally intense. It's just emotionally frightening. Yeah. It is rated PG-13 in the United States. It is rated. Let's see. 13 plus in Indonesia.
We don't care about this. We don't care about the international. It's all about the USA, baby. It's all about the USA, baby. USA. No, I'm kidding.
South Africa has it as a 16 limit, which is self-applied. As one of the weird, it's like self-applied. So I guess it's just like, hey, I'm only 15, but I'm going to self-apply the rating that I can choose for myself.
What was that phrase that everybody mocks? Is like, I identify as a 16-year-old.
So. Exactly. I identify as a P in this PG-13. What do you say we get into it? Let's start because this is not a short movie. We'll say
no.
Of all of the Kickflix movies, this one feels like they really pack a lot in too.
Because it's a real movie. It's not like
this isn't a movie.
This isn't a movie where there's like, hey, we have a fight movie that will just insert some dialogue in between fights. This is the opposite. This is like, hey, we have a real heart movie, and by the way, there will also be fights in it. By the way.
It's pretty solid. Okay, so we start. The movie starts with scenes of factories and smokestacks, letting you know that it's just about a bunch of hardworking guys doing hardworking guy shit. In Pittsburgh, the hardest working town there is, real salt of the earth people.
Yeah.
And then
real blue collar.
Blue collar.
They could have called this movie Blue Collar.
They could have called it.
Steel City. They could have called it Steel City.
That's actually a good name too. We could.
Yeah.
See, directed by Gavin O'Connor. Gavin, get at us.
Yeah.
By
the way, I was gonna say, you know what else he directed?
I was gonna say this is Gavin O'Connor is like a backdoor Kickflix legend, or we should have Kickflix legends that they are just like people who come up a lot, because he did The Accountant too.
Yeah.
He also this is a show that's phenomenal. He was an executive producer on The Americans. Did you watch The Americans?
Oh my God!
He did that show.
Yeah,
he's great.
I rank The Americans as one of my top 5 shows of all time. I put that up there with Game of Thrones. I put that up there with absolutely.
He did. He was a producer on The Way Back, Mayor of Easttown. He was an executive producer. Like he's cranking out some good shit. He's Gavin O'Connor.
He's also in the movie, by the way.
He is. He's one of the officials.
He's one of the producers of the fight.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, he's the guy that's you'll see. But yeah, so we introduced Nick Nolte by seeing him come out of an AA meeting, once again proving that Kickflix is all about efficiency. Mm-hmm. It's efficiency and storytelling. We got to get to the action, baby. But it's like you want efficiency, but then also the movie's 2.5 hours long. So, but a lot of this movie is told in exposition dumps in between scenes. You know what I'm talking about? And they introduced Nick Nolte, which is a big name for a Kickflix movie. He's a Hollywood kind of legend. He's been around for a long time, and now he's in his old man phase. So he's playing this kind of guy.
I feel like he's been in an old man phase for a while now. I feel like. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like there's a lot of young Nick Nolte movies, but I feel like the majority of his work has been like in the old man phase. And again, this isn't a knock on him. It's actually a salute to him. We're like, wow, you've done a lot of work in your old man age.
In his old man, well, he's also probably one of those dudes that's looked old forever, because he's even in 48 hours. He's in his old man phase in 48 hours, and you find out he was only 29.
Yeah,
it's like damn.
It was kind of like when you find out that Murtaugh's 32 and when he was too old for this shit, you're like, wait, God damn.
Whoa,
you're too old for this shit at 32? Jesus.
Yeah. And I'm going to say it right now before we even get started, Oscar snub for some best supporting actor for Nick Nolte in this movie.
We said this last episode. When we
said the last episode,
movie, we were like, fucking Oscar
unflinching. I will not even die on that hill. Like, if you don't agree, you're like...
Yeah, I would cast you out of this hill. I will cast you out of this hill. Like we can't talk anymore.
It's not even a hill I'll die. Like you don't even get close enough to hit me with that if you don't agree with this. But also, can we think of any Oscar caliber performances in other Kickflix movies? Like, has a Kickflix movie ever won an Oscar?
No, I know. I know that there are actors that have been in Kickflix movies that have deserved an Oscar, but not for that movie. And my go-to is Van Damme in the movie JCVD. Deserved an Oscar. Right. He deserved an Oscar. But in the movies that we've done of JCVD, he did not deserve an Oscar. So we have not done JCVD, the film JCVD. So that's where I'm at. But I don't know if I don't know if any other movie that we've done has won an Oscar or even been nominated.
We recently did By the Sword, which has F. Murray Abraham in it, where he, I think, won the Oscar for best supporting in Amadeus, but I can't think of any. Like if you think of anything as we go, we'll say it. And if you're in the comments, if you can think of a Kickflix movie, a martial arts movie that has an Oscar-winning performance or performer in it. So then it cuts to Tom Hardy drinking booze, popping pills, and waiting to confront Nick Nolte.
Well, this is before we even got there, we see him get out of the AA meeting, and he puts in a cassette tape into his car, and you're like, Jesus Christ, how old are you? Like, I was like, this is even in 2011. Even in 2011, a cassette player in a car was way out of the norm. Like, that was not like, oh, this is 2011. Like this is clearly a 1980s Oldsmobile or something. Like it's crazy.
Yes, yeah. He's an old man with an old car. He's a working man. He can't afford these new cars. He lives in Steeltown, USA, baby. But he does pop it, and there's a theme. He's listening to Moby Dick. He's listening to an audiobook of Moby Dick, which is like this legendary metaphor of a man chasing up a vengeance to the point of destroying himself, and which, it may come into play a little later.
It's so funny? I've watched this movie multiple times, over 5 times, probably closer to 10, if I'm being honest. And it wasn't until this current viewing that I realized, oh, wait, I think this is about the fucking Moby Dick thing. Because I've never read the book, so I don't know it. I thought the whole time, every time I watched the movie, I thought it was just the Bible on tape.
The Bible? I mean, similar to works of fiction.
Right? I'm like, the old man cometh. And you're like, oh, okay, yeah.
Okay. But
and Abraham said unto the... I'm like,
Got it.
Like, okay.
Yeah. He's in his old man car and listening to his old man tapes, and Tom Hardy but you see him like he's like clearly fighting demons, and he's waiting to confront Nick Nolte outside his home, only to learn that Nick Nolte, full government name, is I'm just gonna call him Nick Nolte the whole time, well, we learned that he is this character, he is Tom Hardy's dad. So we learned that Dad Nolte is sober. He's Patty Conlon. And he's now sober, but he was not always. Big on the not always.
We lean heavily into the not
always. And he's like, and then they start talking. He's like, I guess he was really good at taking care of his car, but not his kids. Because the car, he's like, oh, the car's running great. And he's like, you care more about that than you did about us. And then again, super efficient storytelling, but done so well. Like it builds such good tone. Tom Hardy is welcomed into the home with a nice cup of coffee, but he refuses to believe that his father ain't a drunk no more. He's like, here's a bottle of booze. That's like the gift, the peace offering. And but he refuses. And then they start talking about like how he's sober, and then he says it. I will tell you right now, one of the hardest lines, it's like it hit like a ton of bricks. It must be hard to find a girl who can take a punch nowadays.
Oh, that's the one that got you? I mean, this whole conversation really got me. Like
whole conversation.
Every line. I mean, Tom Hardy doesn't, for spoiler alert, Tom Hardy doesn't do a lot of, if you watch the making of, he's not good at the fight choreography, which then once they got Tom Hardy and they realized that he wasn't good at the fight choreography, that's why they made his fights real short. Because he wasn't good at the fight choreography, right? But all his fight choreography was done with words because he was knocking motherfuckers out with his words. Yeah, it was brutal.
The conversation that goes, it's hard to pick. Again, it's like we're trying to sum up write the notes.
Sure,
I'm just watching the thing. Well, he's talking about how basically you're getting the full history in like a couple conversations. Like, this is good storytelling, good script writing in the sense that I know exactly who and what these people are about. I know who they are. I know their feelings towards each other, but they don't have to tell you, remember when you used to do this and blah, blah, blah. Because they talk a lot about how he's like, oh, I've sworn off the booze, no women for me. And then he goes, it must be hard to find a girl who can take a punch nowadays. And I'm like, that's diabolical. Like, hit. And also, like, because that's his mom he's talking about, so it's so it's like there's so many layers, such good writing, and we learn a lot real quick.
The line that got me is that when he said, "Oh, I don't do that no more," and because he tried to multiple times say, "Come on, let's have a drink, let's have a drink, let's have a drink," and said, "No, and then he was like, "No, I don't do that no more. I'm coming up on 1,000 days sober," and he goes on through, Tommy goes on and just keeps fucking hitting him with all these verbal jabs, all these verbal uppercuts. And the one that devastated me, and they were all hard, but the one that devastated me was like, I think I liked you better when you were a drunk. And I was like, oh, Jesus Christ. Oh my God.
Yeah.
So fucking brutal, but also understandable.
This is we learn a lot again, efficiency. We learn a lot really quick. Tommy has a brother that has a wife and kids that stuck around with the father when the mother left the dad and took Tommy, the younger brother, right?
Yeah.
and there's so much like solid like tension in this thing that you're like, oh, is this the end of Nick Nolte? Like, is he gonna get killed in the first scene? Like, you wouldn't be surprised if like this is like a revenge plot, you know, like this is the way they set it up. But then he just, you know, like passes out from the booze. And we also learn. I'm sorry if I skipped a part. We learn that I forgot how dark the movie was, but we also learned that the mother died from not being able to get medical treatment. So once again, the big bad of every movie is for-profit healthcare. That's what we're talking about.
The last 4 movies, with the exception of By the Sword, but every other movie has been
every movie. The back is capitalistic healthcare.
Yeah,
we're gonna lose the house. You know, we're gonna lose whatever. I need medical insurance.
My daughter's sick. I gotta go rob a suburban house that has a fucking former, you know, cleaner in it.
Think about how different this movie would have been if the father got access to addiction treatment. The mom got lung medicine or whatever it was that she had, like lung cancer. Like, imagine if we had like, and they never had to worry about paying for it because these are hardworking people. They're working. You know, imagine like the movie would just be about like a kid that was a good wrestler. And
sure. That's it.
Yeah,
that's all it was.
That's what it would have been. And then like with a super dark tone, he passes out, and then they pivot super hard to a children's birthday party where a big macho man is getting face painted by his little daughter. Something Nery Saenz would know a lot about, being manly, but boy, you got to shove that shit down when you got 2 girls. You got to do girly.
It's not only that you got to shove it down, you really enjoy it. Like, go ahead, pay my face. Like, it's just the whole thing. I had, you know, I have pictures of myself with my daughter when she was little. I have a bunch of stickers all over my face. She just put stickers all over, and I'm like, oh.
And then you get to a point where you're like, oh, you're not going to put stickers on my. I mean, I never really liked. I mean,
hey, I bought you stickers so you could put on my face.
I bought you. This is. Are we not doing that? Okay. We find out that Joel Edgerton, he's a teacher, but he still works out. You see him pumping iron in the garage. He's doing his dad workouts. Did you feel inspired by Joel Edgerton in this movie to go start doing MMA? You're a dad. You still work out.
I'm a dad. I work out, and I felt so inspired to never go into the ring with anybody. Like, Jesus Christ! Like, I was like, don't ever. I've never felt that, by the way. I've never been like, I want to get into a fight. I've never felt that. I've never had that urge. I was like, just like, nah, we're good.
I can't pretend I haven't felt that, but it's never.
I wanted to. I have felt the urge to get into a ring, but in the sense of like training, like, oh, like I want to be able to learn how to box or whatever. I once did that, and that was stupid.
I stopped training after I got hurt, and then like you get hurt for real. Like that's one of the things.
To the audience, Mike got knocked the fuck out, like out cold. He got knocked out cold.
That wasn't the thing that stopped me.
Which is the sad part. That's the sad part.
Yeah, it should have stopped me.
It should have been like, this is not. Maybe I'm not made off for this.
Yeah. I got no. It was like you after a while. Also, like after a while, you start. I got, this was like the late 90s before like MMA was really big. So there was like underground stuff that you could do. And I was like, what are we in the fucking Kumite? Like, no, I'm not going to, what benefit of this is it for me? And then, so I only trained to do like for fitness reasons. I liked training. I really liked hitting the bag.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I want. And that's where that's where my extent has been. My extent has been like, oh, I want to get into a ring just for the training purposes. I want to know how to hit the pads. I want to know how to do the boxing, whatever. But that's my extent. It's never been like I want to get into a fight with somebody. It's been like I want to train as if I'm gonna fight somebody, but I would never want to fight somebody. I don't want to.
Yeah, it's I don't want to get. I don't want to have to get punched in the face anymore. I'm good. Yeah. I've had enough of that. But Joel Edgerton, he loved this shit apparently, and he has. So we find out that he's a teacher, but he has to pull double duty, working as a bouncer. And then his wife works as a waitress in a restaurant in a type of.
I think it's a bouncer.
Right. But his wife also works in a place where
waitress.
where a short skirt is beneficial, right? Where that's that kind of establishment. Sure. You know, like we assume it's like a Hooters where guys get grabby, or maybe even a strip club as the waitress. But so they're all having to moonlight because again, once the ultimate evil is capitalism. And then and also a strong indicator of when this movie was made, because it was after the housing crisis, when everyone was getting their houses foreclosed on, because that's a big point in the movie, you know.
Yeah.
And then so
we cut to the gym. It's like we're watching two different stories that are going to merge at some point. Right?
Not only do they merge, but there are overlaps where you see people like they got to resort back to the things that they were good at to earn money when they're like forced into these positions where now. And again, the story is so well structured. Again, this is a good movie. We get to the Kickflix. We start the Kickflix aspects of the movie. Tommy goes down to the fight gym, and it's a different.
So one thing I had is like we get to the gym, and we get ESPN's position. That's what I put. That was my one. Like
ESPN's position.
Yeah, we get exposition through watching SportsCenter. Like, oh, okay, so the ESPN is like, so we learn what the Sparta tournament is. It's a winner takes all MMA tournament for $5 million. And so Tommy signs up to the gym. Like all of this is happening while he's signing up for the gym, and we have ESPN on in the background, and that's how we, the audience, know what all this shit is.
A lot of that happens throughout the movie. Anytime they're cutting, like they're like, how do we clear this up? And it doesn't feel forced in this movie. Sometimes it feels like, well, thank you, convenient newscast. You know, because
it makes sense. If you're an MMA movie and you're in an MMA gym, it makes sense that you have SportsCenter on in the background. It's totally understandable.
It totally makes sense. Yeah. So he's
turn this up. Like you know when they do that. Hey, exposition. Turn this up. Turn the volume up. I put the volume up here.
This particular segment of this news broadcast will be perfect to explain. If this was a movie, this would be perfect. But yeah, so he's in the gym. They're showing there's like new people running it. It's like it used to be, like that classic it ain't fitsies no more, that kind of thing. And then and look, he's got to put his anger somewhere. He's drinking booze and popping pills and fighting demons. Might as well fight actual people. Then we cut to Joel Edgerton again. We're bouncing back and forth. So he's the cool teacher. We learned that his kids dig him. He's doing experiments in class where he's smashing things with a baseball bat. He's like the cool physics teacher, which I think is interesting because then he uses physics and leverage to snap bones and whatever.
I think it's interesting because those kids, none of them look like they would be taking a physics class.
I think this is one of those mandatory classes. This is like 101.
I don't remember taking a physics class. Do you remember taking a physics class, a mandatory physics class?
I went to a religious school where they did not believe in biology, so we had to teach ourselves to meet
That's hilarious.
The standards of the state of Florida. The minimalist standards.
Yeah, I was about to tell you, like the mandatory science classes. I remember like our earth science and stuff like that. Like I don't remember taking a physics class. Like that's a bit complicated, I think. But go ahead. Okay.
No, but 100%. It was like I went through. I did not have the same level of school, and I didn't have a Joel Edgerton cool teacher doing
intro to trigonometry. Like that wasn't a mandatory class. That wasn't a mandatory class.
So like
he's a teacher. We see him be
a teacher, he's a cool teacher, and so and then again, it's bouncing back and forth. Then it cuts back to this is a scene that pops up on my algorithm all the time, where they need to establish the Tommy character as a badass, right? They need to establish him that he's not just some drunk off the street, and they try to give him some underdog cred. So then they have him fight somebody who's established as he's like, this is where you get the I'll fight him, like that. That like this dickhead guy beats up his sparring partner going too hard, and then they're like, we need to get somebody to train, and then he's like, I'll fight him. Which this pops up a lot on my feed, and then it also is tied in with like a weird alpha dudes that like all of those like alpha male videos that come up where they idolize
Liver King,
Tom Hardy,
the Liver King,
and they idolize Tom Hardy and his characters, right? Like there's always some weird meme of like Tom Hardy. Tom Hardy's like bisexual and super liberal, and he hates you. He doesn't believe in that alpha male shit. And but they idolize this guy. And then I also get a lot of videos of dudes going into gyms to challenge somebody. Do you ever get those videos?
I don't get those videos. You and I have very different algorithms.
Different algorithms.
Very different algorithms.
it's very like heartwarming to see like people big mouth, like big
Get
talkers
humbled. Get humbled.
Yeah. And this is
yeah.
the version.
So Tommy, what I like about this scene is that Tommy's just hitting the heavy bag in the ring. The guy with the mohawk puts he's sparring and he hits the sparring partner too hard. They're trying to find another sparring partner and they say, "Hey, call so and so. Tell him if he's here in half an hour that there's $200 in it for him." And Tommy just hears the $200. That's all he cares about. And I thought this was important because Tommy wasn't trying to be like the big dog. He was just trying to get money.
That's right. Yeah, that's fair.
So that to me what was important in this scene is like, hey, you got $200, I'll fight him. It wasn't like, hey, I want to fucking establish my dominance and I want to show this guy that I'm a bigger man. Yeah. It was much more. It was all 100%. You got $200? I'm sorry. Did I just hear $200? Yes, I'll do whatever the fuck you want me to do for $200. Yeah, because all he cares about is money, and later on we find out that it's not for the reasons that we think, because you think, oh, $200, he's gonna buy him more pills or whatever, but he's just like, money. I need all the money I can get.
This movie reveals motivations very well. For the Joel Edgerton character, it's right up front, but for the Tommy character, it's a slow burn. Yeah, like it really is. Again. It was hard to write comedy about this movie. It's hard to write jokes because we just love, like, it's just such a good movie. But it is truly, I would have thought Tom Hardy would be good at was this before he started his BJJ career? Because Tom Hardy's like a black belt now or like a brown belt.
I think this is what I think if I'm not mistaken, and maybe I am. I think this was what sparked his interest in MMA. I think this is what but he just wasn't good for. Again, we talk about this on Kickflix all the time. Movie fighting is not real fighting. Movie fighting is much more. It's literally choreographed, and it's much more of a dance. So people who are good at movie fighting don't necessarily have to. I'm not saying that nobody's good at real fighting, but the people who are good at movie fighting are really good at dancing. They consider themselves like partners. Oh, this guy is a good choreographer. He's a good dance partner. Because it's all about blocking and shooting. Like, what can you make look real that's not real, right? So that's what, if you watch the making of this movie in the extras,
as soon as we're done here.
The producers literally say Tom Hardy's not good at fucking, like, we had to like edit it, make it so that the character Tommy is now just a brutalist because he's
that's the thing. Because that's the thing that I whether it was accidental, it's one of those happy accidents because it does show the fact that the older brother, the physics teacher, the smart one, is using he calms his mind and has to figure out, whatever the submission techniques. Meanwhile, the Tommy character is like, what just happened? And then there's a body in front of him. That kind of mentality where you just go all those like, I just see red, bro. I just see red, and bro, you don't understand my mentality and that shit like that. But yeah, so
I got that dog in me, bro. I got that dog in me.
His fighting style is I call it the bull rush. He's just like like it's literally just like beating the shit out of people.
Yeah. So Tommy steps in. Tommy steps in. I want to
truly. Yeah.
Go ahead. You're saying.
No, it's one-sided fight. We learn that Tommy is legitimately a badass, but a bull rush fighter, and he knocks out the guy who's supposed to be the big-time contender for the middleweight championship.
Tommy steps in as a sparring partner, makes quick work of the Mohawk guy. The fight is recorded on a cell phone that I could only assume was from 1997.
It's a flip cam.
It's a flip cam.
It's literally
and he was like hiding it.
Back in the day,
And he was like hiding it, whatever. The entire gym is speechless. That I thought was a very powerful scene because when the whole gym stops doing what they're doing, it's like there's a guy with a headphone somewhere in the back, like not realizing what's happening. Right? I just like I like the idea of some guy working out with his headphones, now realize what's happening. He was like, "What? And then this is what I like. Tommy goes up to the coach, to the gym owner, and he goes, "You owe me $200." Like that's all he gave a fuck about. This wasn't about pride. This wasn't about like he goes, "You owe me $200."
It's like you just beat up the middleweight contender. He's like, "I don't know who that fuck. Give me my money. I need $200."
He reminded me of that kid from Better Off Dead. My $2. Like he just wanted my $200. That's all he wanted. He just cared about. There you go.
Then we cut back to Brendan for his motivation because he's in the bank and his house is about to get foreclosed on. We learned that The bank doesn't give a shit about his kid's kidney issue because his kid was sick and they needed to pay medical bills once again. How many times do we have to tell you, old man, that for-profit healthcare is bad? And the banking guy doesn't. I don't know who that character actor is, but I love when he pops up in things. The guy who's the banking dude. I always recognize him, like, hey, that's the guy from the Truman Show or whatever. But they basically say he needs to pay up or lose his house, basically, which again establishes the motivation. Cuts back to Nick Nolte living his best old man life armed in a recliner, eating a TV dinner, watching some old memories, some home videos of his kids being badasses.
Of his son literally winning the state championship wrestling tournament. Like, that's badass, dude.
That he used to train him, like all this stuff. Like he's having some fond memories because he has to watch them on tape because he was too drunk to remember them in real life. And then he gets a knock on the door, and it's the guy from the gym looking for Tommy, who's using a different last name. We learned that comes into play later. It's like, oh, why did he change his identity? It's a mystery. And then he apparently knocked out the number one middleweight contender. And then it's like, we get it. He's good. We're understanding. And that's it. Basically, like, if you want to talk to Tommy, talk to Tommy. He does his best Nick Nolte impression. And
I think he nailed it, to be honest with you.
It's pretty good.
I think Nick Nolte nailed the Nick Nolte impression. He's
doing some real top tier Nick Nolteing right now. Yeah. And then so it's cutting back and forth. Brendan, you see him, he's pulling up into the parking lot of a titty bar. And it's like the tough man competitions they used to have on FX. Did you ever watch those where they just gonna let anybody get up there? They're like, you sign the waiver, put the drunks in, and they beat the shit out of each other. But he's on the phone with his wife, and he's of course being a good husband by lying to his wife so she doesn't worry. I think that's honorable by saying that I just got to work, whatever.
Yes, honey. It's an open mic night. Is where I love that line. It's an open mic night. It shouldn't be anything bad. It's like what? That's like the worst. Okay. Go ahead.
But it's also like none of these. It's an open mic night at a comedy. Is it a comedy open mic or a music open mic? Either way, none of those dorks are fighting.
Oh, it's a fight open mic. Okay, never mind.
It's a fight open. And then this is the part where I got a little frustrated because when they show him, he's about to come out there. They introduce him as Irish Brendan Conlon, and I'm like, you couldn't have picked a better fight name. Like, come on, Irish.
Like, I feel as if I feel like they just had this template and they were like, oh,
replace this with something that works later.
Yeah, replace later. And they were like, replace later Brendan Cotton. And I was like, it's like 2 seconds away from that.
Yeah. And so this is the fight that the movie uses to establish Brendan. He's still got it. He got the dad. He's a dad. He's older, but he's still got the moves. But it does come. The fight does come in with a little duct tape on it because he's all, he gets tagged a bunch. Like he's one of these guys that he's like, I'll win, but it's like that Marshawn Lynch clip where he's like, I'm gonna get got, but I'm gonna get mine more than I get got though. He gets beat up, and then. So we learned that he is not the bull rush fighter style. He's not the all out. He is a tactician. Yes. And that means getting hit in the face a lot. And I think at this point we should comment more about the fight career. The way they shoot this isn't necessarily it's not like they're shooting the fight from like a UFC match. It's like shot in a way that it feels hard. The hits feel like they're hitting. It's shot really well, they
don't do the stereotypical like movie bam whenever somebody gets hit. Like there's not like a big shot. It feels more like that's what a punch would actually sound like.
Right.
That's what getting punched in the face actually sounds like, and it's not.
It feels real in a fake way. You know what I mean? Like it feels like as real as you could get for a movie where they're not actually being. What it reminds me of. It's like the fight choreography is a character in this movie. The same way, like when you see a movie set in New York, they're like, New York is like a character. Shut the fuck.
Yeah.
But it feels like they using
but also,
the fight.
There are times where New York.
New York is the character. It does feel like that. It's like the character. One of the characters in this film is just the punching and arm snapping. You know, like it's like, and the way they shoot it is pretty solid. And then he comes home to his wife. We get another one of these scenes like in Nobody.
This is where he confesses, and he's like,
he does.
So I haven't been bouncing about this. Yeah.
So, well, she walks in and he's like, again, you can't really hide. Like if you've ever been hit in the face before, your face swells up. Like the next day, you look like your whole face is like hinchado. You know, it's swollen. It's inflamed. So it's like you don't even look like yourself. I would be surprised if the Face ID on your phone won't work. You know, like that kind of like.
This scene is important because we find out there's a history of him fighting. It wasn't he didn't just do it this time. He gets home, confesses to his wife that he's been lying about bouncing and is fighting for money. She doesn't want to go back to watching him in the back of an ambulance again. That's what she says. I don't want to go back to watching you in the back of an ambulance again. So we get that he's been fighting in the past. He tells her that he refuses to lose the house. She says they will figure something out. And then
it's a classic. I'd rather have what is it? The not again. I'm not doing this again. And then it immediately establishes the like, oh, there's something there that, again, very efficient storytelling. And also it shows their connection. Like she was there when he started, like it's not like it's new to her, Yeah,
she's not a Jenny come lately.
It's almost like in Nobody where they do that speech where he does the thing of like the old days where she's like patching him up if you watch previous episodes of Kickflix, go to geekbro.net, Kickflix on Facebook. But it's like that. And then we get we're going to lose the house, and I'd rather lose the house, and I'd rather have a living husband than the house.
I love the fact that he was like, we're not going backwards. I love that because as a man and as a provider, I completely relate to this character where he's like, we're not going backwards.
But is he chasing his own Moby Dick? Is this a Captain Ahab situation where you pursue something to the point of obsession and it ends up destroying you? Metaphor, metaphor, metaphor.
Yeah,
right.
Well, it would help if I knew the reference because I've never read Moby Dick. So
that's how good this movie is. It has layers that you don't even know about, and you still don't know about. You don't know about it. It's still good.
Yeah.
And then now the next scene is in a diner, which I will say is a supreme dining experience. I think I love diners more than anything. Perfect eating establishment. Love a good diner, and I wish there were more out here in LA that I could go to. Because it feels like a very East Coast thing.
Very pricey.
They're like we're diners, and then we have a diner aesthetic. It's like no, I don't want a diner aesthetic. I want a diner.
Yeah. I've been to a diner and had an $87 brunch at fucking in LA. I'm like, oh my god, this is not a fucking. But our pancakes were vegan, and I'm like, oh fuck, man, come on. I just
this is
with
a scene
oat
where
milk, and you're like, okay, bro,
okay. No, I don't care. I don't. Just give me some fucking. Give me the basics.
Give me a Bisquick, motherfucker. Come on, man.
Yeah. And then so we got Patty, Dad Nolte sitting there eating his breakfast, looking, living his old man dream. Like when I'm Nick Nolte's age, this is good living. You know what I mean? Like this guy's killing it. He's
killing himself with all that fucking bacon and sausage. He's also
but he's earned it.
He's earned it. Yeah, it's kind of like that Little Miss Sunshine. He's like, at my age, it's stupid not to do meth. Like it's like
exactly. That's such a good line. Tommy comes in to square. He's like, I want you to train me like the old days. But it's like in Cool Runnings, but don't think this means I like you. This doesn't mean I like you. He's like establishing boundaries both ways. Tommy, I don't want no family talk. Patty is like, give me them pills. You're shaking like he said, you're shaking like a maraca when you walked in here. And he's like, I even heard the 3 shakes. He's like, because he knows he's hiding the pill bottles. And that's where they established that a lot that previously he was a trainer.
Here's what's good about this. That's not just a spoken line. They add in the fucking folio of the pills. If you watch that scene from the beginning, if you go back and rewatch that scene, you could hear the fucking pills like a maraca.
Yeah.
It's not just like, oh, he heard it. Like, no, really, he did hear it because it's present. The producers were like, no, add in the director was like, hey, add in the sound effects of the pills because it makes sense.
And it's probably for the best that if he's training for a big fight, he's not perked out. You know, like he's probably a good idea. He's not on oxy when he trains, falling asleep drunk in his dad's chair that he hates. But there we go. And then back in the Brendan timeline, so they're going to do their thing. Back in the Brendan timeline, we're back at the school, and one of his students is like, "Hey, you've been fighting them titty bars." And
was that you?
The wounds,
was that you?
Yeah.
Like not me, but my brother. My brother says that he saw you at a titty bar. Is that true? Like the fact that he's that cool of a teacher for his students to question him opening like that. You gonna say that shit in front of my wife and everything? You gonna like what the fuck? Like you gonna say that? Like that's I would never. I've had real cool teachers in the past, and I would never think to ask him that openly. I would be like, I'm gonna ask him this in private, like between him and I. Hey, I heard that you were. But they were like, hey. Hey, man, my brother seen you in the my brother seen you at them titty bars. Are you fighting? So basically now the word is getting out. Yeah.
He's clearly battered around the face and eyes. So it's also like, what do you mean? How are you not gonna have something to explain? And then the principal's onto him, which again, I love this actor too. He's always great. This guy's great. I see him in all stuff. I don't know his name. But he goes into. He calls him into his office and he's like, he has to do the explanation. I wasn't in a titty bar.
Sorry, the fucking banker. I was like, who the fuck was the banker? I was trying to look up the banker because I forgot. The banker is in The Americans.
Yes.
That's why I was like, the moment you talked about the principal, for some reason I had the picture of the principal in my head already. Yeah. But immediately the banker came up. I'm like, that's who it was. The banker was in The Americans. Yeah. Okay. Go ahead. Sorry.
Yes. Yeah. No. That's how this show is, man. You remember, like, oh, that's the guy from the thing.
That's the guy from The Americans. He's great. Yeah. He's fantastic in The Americans. That whole show is fantastic.
He's great. Yeah. So, and then also Principal Zito, this guy, his name's Kevin Dunn. Apparently, he's great in whenever he pops up. He's like, and then Joel Edgerton's like, I wasn't in the titty bar. I was in the parking lot of the titty bar,
adjacent to the titty bar.
I was titty bar adjacent. There's no titties there at all, really.
Except for mine. My titties were out. I was topless.
Titties were out. What about equality? What's the matter? Like I can't earn a little scratch in a titty bar parking lot fighting people for money?
Yeah.
What are we doing?
For the listeners, the principal was the dad in Transformers, which he killed it in that scene.
Oh yes,
he was great.
He's great. And then so now we have Brendan getting suspended from his actual income job with no pay. We learned that that's the punishment that the school board is like, nah, we can't have no titty bar fighters teaching our kids.
There was a great line where the principal said, you're a teacher, you don't belong in there with those animals. And then Brendan says, I used to be one of those animals. Yeah. And he was like, oh, and it was like, oh, like what?
Yeah, he's into it. He's like, I would be. He's
yeah. If it was up to me, if I was a superintendent, I wouldn't give a fuck. But I got bosses.
Yeah,
and I got a fucking mortgage, and I can do this shit. Yeah.
I don't want to lose my house. He's like, I want to lose my house. It's like, yeah, but I win. But then, so there's this. So then he's like, he doesn't sign up for the tournament right away. He just is like, you know what I'm gonna do? I gotta keep fighting. He convinces
his wife, which his wife's name is Tess, or Cinderella, whichever one you want to call her. He convinces her to let him fight because he gets suspended without pay, and then he says, look, I made more money last night in fighting than I would have in 5 weeks of bartending of bouncing. And she was like, oh. Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
I guess.
You gotta do what you gotta do. He tells her like all these guys are just guys that just watch too much UFC. They're not real fighters. It's not the same thing. Which that's the plan that he had.
Right. He's like I can take these scrubs. Like he's just like, you know. Meanwhile, that's the same thing that they said about Tommy, and Tommy went in there and beat the shit out of the middleweight guy. So he's basically again, there's mirroring going on, lots of things. We then see another bonding moment between Tommy and his dad. He's like, "Hey, wake up! It's time to go train." And Tommy's like, "What the fuck?" Like
I can set my own alarm, make my own coffee. You're like, Jesus Christ, you can't accept a cup of coffee from the guy. Get the fuck out of here.
But I guess not. Like I feel lucky enough that like whenever there's these moments of like that is storytelling that include these kind of things where I don't relate to it because my dad was a loving dad.
It's awesome.
Yeah, my dad was great. My mom, great. I got hit, but it wasn't like abuse. It wasn't. And it wasn't out of like alcoholism or some sort of addiction. It was just everybody was cool. Like that. It's almost like I'll never be a true artist because I didn't suffer enough. Because I said this
21 years ago. I was having this conversation with Rafi May in the green room. And I said, "Oh, I don't think I'll ever make it a famous comedian." He says, "Why?" I go, "Because my parents are still married and they love each other."
There's some trauma there, I guess. I don't know.
There's no trauma. Like, what famous comedian do you know didn't grow up with a divorce? At least a divorce. I don't even have it's not even an amicable divorce. There's no divorce. They're still loving and caring for each other. Like,
well, I got that on you. Look at me. I got. Anyway,
I look at my parents. Why couldn't you guys get divorced?
That's like me with my dad, where he was in the Coast Guard as opposed fighting cocaine rather than all my other little friends that had cocaine selling dads in Miami. Where I'm like, why couldn't you sell cocaine, Dad? I could have had a cocaine dad.
You could have been a dirty Coast Guard agent.
Yeah.
Come on, Jesus.
You pick up the bales of bales of cocaine.
1 kilo for you.
One for you, one for me situation. I could have had a Power Wheel. So we see another. I said that already. And then you get you can see Dad Nolte trying so hard. You can see Patty trying real hard and just getting shot the fuck down. And again, every single time it's like, ugh, boy. But we also learn that he earned a lot of this.
Oh no, he earned all of it.
He earned all of it.
All of it.
He earned all of it, and that's like again, what a good it is what it is. It's just telling the story. And then this is when the viral video comes back to haunt him, because now that he's training and blah 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 blah, it like randomly cuts to an army base where it shows this guy watching this video. Oh, this guy getting knocked out, like I would be watching in my algorithm. Sure. It got sent to this army base, and the dude pulls again. These cameras were not that good in 2011. I don't know how they were able to see his face, because then they cut to and they show like somebody's handheld footage of like a night vision cam of someone rescuing some army soldiers who were in a truck that was about to go underwater, right? And then a tank or whatever. It's an armored personnel carrier. And the camera like whips past this guy's face, and then they're like, "Oh, it's him." You can't tell it's him, but I get it.
I know it's him, and I'm like,
I'm watching the movie, and I know the actor is the same actor, and
that's what I'm saying. And I'm like,
yeah. I don't. Yeah.
That guy in the green in the night vision looks nothing like Tom Hardy.
Nothing like Tom. It looks so.
Knowing full well they probably used Tom Hardy to film that clip.
Yeah. But it's also like it's a movie. It's fine. Yeah. So now,
but also the guy was there in person. So we're like, in my mind, true. I'm like, well, he would recognize the guy who saved him, right?
Yeah,
like,
that's fair. That's fair.
Who was that last man?
Where does he get those wonderful toys? Where was I? Brendan. Oh, so that video starts to go viral again, doing some ESPN exposition. Because it's all told like in the clips of the TV and the video and stuff like that. Brendan returns to his old trainer, like his trainer buddy, Frank Grillo. I know he has a real name in this, but
no, his real name is Frank. His name is Frank. Yeah.
So I'm just like, it's just Frank Grillo.
It's Frank. It's Frank. Yeah.
And the dude immediately is like, I don't got money for you, dog. Like all my money is tied up
in this.
Because even he's like, it's not like you're here to train, right? Okay. Yeah. And he's like, hey, can you train me to be better at fighting in a titty bar? To be titty bar patrons for money. And then we get a little history into Brendan's fighting career ended because he had been knocked unconscious badly, and Frank Grillo was getting yelled at by his wife. That's the only concern he has, really. When he says, like, hey, I want to train again, he's like, your wife isn't going to come in here and yell at me, right? That's literally all he cares about.
Acts. Like, and he's like, because remember last time I was getting yelled at, and he was like, I don't remember because I was knocked the fuck out. I was unconscious.
He's like, I was in the back of an ambulance. My wife remembers.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's when we get, okay, now the training is starting over here. Now the training's been going on over here. Again, parallels the two brothers' paths progressing. And then Dad Nolte shows up at Brendan's house unannounced. And they are estranged. And we learn that Brendan doesn't want to have anything to do with Patty. And
he shows up on his 1,000th day. Like, that's his 1,000th day.
Yes.
He's like,
I'm
1,000
days sober.
Yeah.
Sober and seeking forgiveness. Like, he genuinely wants forgiveness. And Brendan says
to break bread.
Ooh, yeah, solid. Good old man. I'm telling you, man, he's old manning so hard right now.
Yeah.
And Brendan says, fuck your forgiveness. You know what you did.
Yeah.
And it's like, man, I wonder what the details are, but I get it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. Here's what gets me, right? So he tries to apologize. Patty tries to apologize. Brendan doesn't want to hear it. He says, you have 2 lines of communication. You could write or you could call. Those are the only 2 lines of communication you want.
Yeah.
And then he's walking away and he says, hey, Brendan, he says, hey, Tommy's staying with me. Right. And Brendan stops in his tracks and turns back, visibly fucking hurt by this. Visibly, like, that tears him open.
I literally wrote, you could see the shock on Brendan's face because it's like,
I wrote, Brendan is visibly upset and hurt that he's told that Tommy stay with him. He's like, Tommy's staying with you? Tommy stay with, like, it's like fucking, it's a whole.
This happened a couple moments where my wife was in the apartment with me. She wasn't watching the movie. She was like watching something else on the iPad or whatever. And then I had to I had to pause. And I had to like get her attention. I'm like, man, these motherfuckers are acting.
Yeah.
There's some acting going on here. Like, this is good. This is some acting. And but she's like, what? She's confused. She's just like, okay. And
she's like watching. Right. She's like watching Bluey. She's like, oh, okay, cool.
Okay. Yeah. I'm like, this is because it's like, this is probably the best acting in a Kickflix movie, right? Like,
this is the best Kickflix movie we've ever done.
It's got to be, right? Like, this might be as a quality film the best.
Absolutely. It's absolutely. And it's funny because it probably wouldn't even be the highest rated as far as Rotten Tomatoes because Iron Monkey is like 97%. It's fucking crazy. It's like, it's wild.
There's no accounting for taste. I love it. I'd give it a 97. That's my ranking. But that's why everybody can submit on Rotten Tomatoes if they want to. Oh, but this is also the scene where the kids, like, as the conversation ends, because they're like, we learned that Tommy was the chosen child in terms of the fighting, the glory. He was the one that he just wanted some. He stayed. We learned that Brendan stayed with the father when the mother left with Tommy because he thought he was finally going to get him all to himself or whatever.
That's the heartbreaking one where I was like, oh, Jesus Christ.
Now you got to share him with booze. Booze comes first.
Yeah.
And it was brutal. And then you see like Nick Nolte.
But you realize you had no interest in training him. You had no interest in training me. You were always a front runner. You never had any interest in the underdog. And I was like, oh.
Ooh, God, it's so good.
And then as the older brother, that's gotta suck even more, dude. Because the older brother, you're supposed to be the front runner, right? Because you're the older one. And he's like, nah, even as kids, I could see that the younger one was better. Like, oh fuck, dude. Brutal.
Yeah, that's hard. It's also like it's hard because even after you left, you still like it was worse, right? Like,
yeah,
like as a kid, you think it's going to get better, but it clearly doesn't. That's also got to be rough. And then you can see Nick Nolte see the kids and the wife in the mirror. Oh, is that this person? Is that this person? Is that the kid Rose? And then they just like, you can hear the kid ask, "Who's that?" And that's like, "Oh, that's just a nice old man."
Yeah,
the acting.
Brutal. And he goes,
so good.
Oh, is that her? Oh, she's so big. Bro, it's fucking brutal.
Brutal. And it's brutal. Like, oh yeah, it's brutal. And then we get some more. This is that after that, like heavy ass scene, we jump to some more ESPN's position. Here it's like there's some strange mythical Russian fighter named Kubo, played by Kurt Angle, who's probably good at the choreography, right? Like getting wrestlers would probably be like ideal.
Yeah, I mean he was a legitimate collegiate Olympic gold medalist.
He's an Olympic gold medalist. Yeah.
2 times.
And he's fighting. But it's fighting for real. But then he converted to fighting for fake. So it's like.
So he knows choreography.
Exactly. We get So there's this Russian fighter. That he's also going to be.
What do you mean by fighting for fake? I don't understand what that.
What?
What do you mean?
I don't.
For,
it's still real to me. That he's going to be at the competition. That the trainer tells Tommy that he got him into the competition, and then there's like a phone call with a mysterious woman. That's where we learn that. So like, there's a lot of that ESPN's position, and then it lands on this phone call from a mysterious woman that Tommy offered to help take care of one of his war buddies. We don't know why, but we see like, oh wait, there's more to Tommy than we thought.
The note that I wrote here is Tommy makes a call to a woman, and we see Tommy the happiest that we've seen him in the entire movie. It's the first time. It's the first time he smiles. It's the first time he's like, hey, he's like being amicable. He's like being like, hey, like, how are you? Like, how are the kids? He's like doing this. He's actively talking, not just being spoken to. He's actually talking to somebody. It's the first time and the only time really we see this. It's pretty
and it again, all of this to like build motivations, because it's all building towards the final fight, which is coming, but it's like setting up this battle of like who does the audience want to root for more, right? Like if this isn't Rocky IV. You know what I mean? Like, this is not like where there's an obvious good guy.
This isn't a good guy, bad guy. Yeah, that's just
exactly.
Which, by the way, FYI, Warrior is rated higher on Rotten Tomatoes by the audience than Iron Monkey is by the audience. FYI.
Oh, okay. I'm telling you, this movie is great.
We're literally talking about 91 and 92%. That's literally the difference.
They're like the same movie when you think about it.
No,
come on, no, they're like one of those dudes that's
if
like
you
really
look at it from
life.
like if you look at it from like the night vision goggles and you like kind of like
you get real close microscope. So now we get a very stylized ESPN's position montage. We get training montage. We get fight. We get Frank Grillo talking about Beethoven and shit. We get lots of the tournament rules where it's like a Grand Prix tournament where basically like you're fighting multiple times a day over the course of a weekend. And it's basically like, last man standing. We get it. We've all seen these last man standing. We get it.
They say the phrase winner take all like 14 times. It's like,
get
it. Like, winner take all. Second place, shit. You got to root for one guy. Like it's like, it's like, oh my god, Jesus Christ. Both brothers can't win. Both brothers can't win. Like, oh my god, Jesus.
It's like, okay, stop yelling at me, movie.
One of them will just come in first place, and the other one will come in second place. No. Winner take all.
That's not how it works. But yeah, and then we learn about Koba's fighting in and all this bullshit, and we basically just dumps the third act in your face. The montage ends with Frank Grillo's a star fighter, the guy who was supposed to be in the tournament, gets hurt on a run, and then Brendan gives his "Put me in, coach" speech in a parking lot. Very dramatic.
Put me in, coach. It's all
he literally calls him coach.
It's all psychological.
I know there's not writing on it, but it's all psychological. Oh my god, so good.
Let's watch it again.
Oh man,
I love the fact that somebody's watching this going like, what the fuck are these guys talking about? They have no idea.
You can't invoke the Ace Ventura and not expect it to descend into just a series of quoting the movie.
But again, if you know, you know. We don't even have to like
put me in, coach. So he gets the call. He's in the fight. And now he's got to tell his wife. His wife is worried, and he pulls and he defends himself. He's like, "Oh, you don't think I can do it?" And it's like, "Yeah, man, she's right." she's not wrong.
This is a 2011 version of Rocky 4. You can't win. You seen him. You seen how strong he is. Like, this is the fucking 2011 version of that. It's like, yeah.
In Rocky 4, she was right. He's Ivan fucking Drago.
But here's the thing. In Rocky 4, she was talking to the reigning champion, right? Talia Shire was talking to the reigning champion.
That's true.
In 2011, in Warrior, Tessa's talking to somebody who had to retire because he got knocked the fuck out. Like, you are not, and that was years ago. You are no longer the guy who got knocked the fuck out. You are the guy who's older than the guy who got knocked the fuck out.
You're the guy that's still getting tagged. You're the guy still getting tagged by dudes at the titty bar parking lot.
Yeah,
that's who you are.
Yeah.
So now, but then it's like the odds are against you. Of course, yeah. She's right. She's mad. It's like you're gonna lose the house and get your ass kicked. Like, both of those things will happen, technically speaking. But it's a movie, so we get it. Kickflix. Then it cuts to, so basically he's like, I'm gonna do it anyway. I would like for you to be there. That's basically the long and short of it. Of like,
this is a great line, because he goes, you don't know I could win. And she goes, yes, and you could also get injured. We don't know that either. And he goes, here's what we do know. In 3 weeks, we lose the house. That we do know. And that's like fucking definitive. Like, there's no opinion, motherfucker. There's no what ifs. Like, that's what's gonna happen in 3 weeks. And you're like,
I mean, he's got everybody. That's the thing. This is one of those movies where everybody's got a point.
Everybody's right.
You know what I mean? Everybody's got. Right. I won't say everybody's right. I say everybody's got a point, right?
No. I think everybody's right. Like, you are right to say this. You are right to feel this. You are right.
Good.
You are right.
Okay, because even Patty Conlon is right for trying to make amends. He's
right.
He's
right for trying to make amends, and the boys are also right for fucking telling him to go fuck off. They're also right. Everybody's right.
He's right for wanting to save his house. She's right for wanting a husband who can think and talk right at the end of it. He's there. Everybody's right. You know, like, and that's what makes, again, so the writers of this are Gavin O'Connor wrote it with Anthony Tambikis, who hasn't written anything else, and Cliff Dorfman, which these names sound made up for. Cliff Dorfman wrote for Entourage.
So so he's used to writing deep, enamored characters.
That's what I'm saying. Like, this is wild how good the writing is on this. And the other guy's written for Broadway. Oh, he wrote Gringo. What's Gringo's? I remember seeing that, but whatever. Anyway,
so we're in Atlantic City. Now we go to
Atlantic City. We get a huge introduction to the tournament. We get the introduction to the huge tournament. It's basically like Las Vegas UFC pay-per-view on steroids. It's like the unbeatable Koba is there, and everybody walks in. You got to get clips of everything. A lot of It's a presser.
It's a presser. There's a lot of it's this big thing. It's a big tournament, and we can see who's gonna rank first, second, or third. Oh no, no, it's winner take all. Okay,
winner take all. Yeah, well, the guy who keeps saying that is the guy. Is Gavin O'Connor. Yeah.
The winner take all. We got it, Gavin. Holy shit, Jesus.
Yeah, and then but we also get Brian Callen doing his best Joe Rogan doing all that shit.
Well, I wrote about that. I wrote about that afterwards.
That comes later,
yeah.
But yeah, and then they do this introduction, and then it ends on it shows up that the two brothers.
No, finally, not yet. No, so we're in Atlantic City.
They see each other. I'm sorry,
there's a pre-tournament presser. We get the back history to Tommy's heroics, saving soldiers' lives. This is where we get the backstory to that.
I got it.
Tommy goes for a walk because he goes, "Hey," Patty goes, "Hey, you were just on the news about you saving lives in the military or whatever." So he goes for a walk. He gets a phone call from Brendan. He goes, "He just went out for a walk." So now we're at the beach. Later on at night, we're at the beach, and Brendan tries to get Tommy to go over for coffee. But Tommy refuses. He says he can't guarantee talk there. He goes, "Why can't we?"
Because it's like during the presser they make eye contact with each other. That's how they see each other. They are crossing paths, and you can see some of the best no talk acting. Again, just real solid performance stuff. Then it cuts to the footage is him being a war hero, but it's like shows they're doing it in a way that it's like, why wouldn't he want this known? He ripped the door off a tank. He saved people. Why is he? Again, it gives why is he so reluctant? Why did he run away? Like, what is the whole point of it? Like, what is the shame in this? Because they haven't dropped, like, it's slowly revealing the information, and that I like that the movie, like talking about the movie in general, that was so good the way they just slowly revealed the pieces of his puzzle.
Yeah.
Then the brothers meet on the beautiful, picturesque natural shores of Atlantic City, New Jersey. And we get two British actors doing some of the best Irish American acting in the world.
With crack pipes just pulling up on the shore, just just needles, needles just washing up on the shore. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful
Step over. What I was going to say, the joke that I had written was we get two British actors doing some of the best Irish American acting you've ever seen. Because they are both British. Joel Edgerton and Tom Hardy are both like mad British, and they're doing like you see it like. They're doing their Irish American shit, and then this is that scene with the picture of like where he shows the pictures about like he's trying like, hey, I got a family. The girl, because you stayed with dad and the girl,
she's not just some girl, she's my wife. Yeah,
she's my wife. It's like the building of a family, which to a guy who lost everyone in his family is kind of like not necessarily the best approach to take. Where you're like. And he's like, why are you showing me? What does he say? He says, I don't know these people. I don't know them. Why are you showing me pictures of strangers I don't know? And it's like, he's right. They abandoned him.
That's the one where I'd be like, no.
But the thing is that they both stayed separate in a way that he's like, I don't know them. And he's like, what makes you think I suddenly care? It's like that they're your nieces. He's like, I don't know, man. Like family is you're born into a family, but you choose to keep them. That's the problem.
And then the line that got me on Brendan's side was like, you had no right to like. I didn't even know my mom died. I couldn't even grieve my mom. Yes. You had no right to take it. That wasn't your call. And I was like, ooh, fucking checkmate on this one, motherfucker. Like you can say all you want, bro, but there's. There's only one. You could only have one goodbye with your mom, and you took that from him, bro. Like you,
yes. This is another one of those moments where I go to my wife and I'm like, "They're acting,
acting."
And it is true, and it's truly setting us up for that idea of like everybody's right, man. Who do I root for? Why am I not? It's hard. There's no villain. There's no hero. There's just people living. People trying to make right. And that's what I love.
Get busy living or get busy dying.
Yeah, get busy. And then also, so then it cuts back to the school where they're like, "Hey, we want to arrange screening and maybe call it a fundraiser or whatever." And could you imagine if like one of your high school teachers was in UFC? Like, could you like actively, like you were in high school and you found out
my middle school teacher, when the Marlins first came out, I was in middle school, and he was the pitching coach for the Marlins.
Oh,
Mr. Smith. That's the closest I got to this situation. He was the pitching coach, which he was still a teacher, but then after school he would go and then I remember they did a local news piece on him, and he's like the local teacher, Mr. Smith, blah blah blah, and he's a pitching coach. That's the closest I got, but that's not the same as I'm an active UFC fighter.
It's like, hey, don't remember you're gonna have a sub on Monday because I'm gonna be fighting in the UFC pay-per-view.
Because UFC
Chuck Liddell.
UFC 341 is coming up, so I'm gonna be there for that. So
sorry guys,
papers are due. Don't get me wrong, papers are due. But this is what I like. I like the principles. Like, you're trying to raise money. You're trying to go use school grounds to raise money for a teacher who got suspended for that same activity. Like, I'm really should call your parents. I'm really worried about you guys. Like, you guys are really fucking out of your minds.
That was good. And then in a time-honored Kickflix tradition, the third act of the movie is a tournament. And this is where I wrote Brian Callen is doing his best Joe Rogan, introducing the tournament and the rules for everybody. Yeah, we get it. Winner take all, blah, 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 blah.
So this is what I wrote.
Exposition monster, blah, blah, blah. And it's all about the $5 million winner take all, etc.
This is what I wrote. I said, we meet our fight commentators, and it's comedian Brian Callen and the author and former fighter Sam Sheridan. Sam Sheridan wrote a bunch of fight books, motivational books. He's really good. And this is what I wrote. These two are the best fight commentators in movie history. not just Kickflix movie history.
Yeah.
In movie history, these are the best. This is what they should fucking do. I know a lot of Rockies are like, we're gonna get real boxing commentators. Like, fuck that, bro. You get actors, man, that can act their ass off and know about. And like, if you happen to get a Brian Callen who happens to know about the sport, do that. Yeah. Get an actor who happens to know about boxing and put that motherfucker in, because these are the phenomenal fight commentators, dude. Movie commentators.
There's a video of the I forget who, the Mexican dude fighting Anthony Joshua that beats him.
Ruiz.
Yeah. That there's like a documentary style.
He's a hero for all fucking fat people, man. All fat guys,
fat Latinos kicking ass, dude. Because there's and the people commentating on the video, it's like a documentary style. It's like Sly Stallone and then like Tyson and then like some other people, and they're talking about like
Michael Strahan,
and everybody's talking about that. I've seen that video like 100 times. I just love the breakdown of it, and because of the drama of this fight was so good.
I love the fact that Michael Strahan was like, every fat guy was like, I'm not going to the gym. There's no reason to go to the gym. Like, I don't need to fucking work out. Why? I could be the fucking heavyweight champion of the world, motherfucker.
But yeah, it's true. Act like get performers to do the performances, because that's not a because that's the standard. There's always the performer, the guy who's like the news guy, the one, or in sports, right? Like in football and baseball, there's always some guy who is the performer and one guy who knows the sport, former player, someone on the inside. And those two kind of are supposed to balance each other, color commentator and then the news guy, that kind of thing. And in this particular case, they crush it, honestly. Like it's good. And then we go to the first fight. We go to Tommy's first fight. And they're really leaning into the fact that nobody knows who he is. He comes out. This is the scariest thing I would. If I was fighting him, he comes out. No music, no press, no nothing. Straight murder energy.
No entourage.
It's just him walking through the crowd, like. And even his trainer goes to like give him a massage. He's like, "Get off me!" I'd be like, ugh.
He literally goes, "Don't touch me."
Don't touch. Yeah. And it's like, oh no. If I was standing there watching that, I'd just be like, can I tap now? I'll just tap now because he's still Tom Hardy. He still looks like a monster.
Yeah.
I wonder.
He still looks like Bane.
He's still Bane. All the questions.
Which, by the way, he's scarier in this movie than he is in Bane. As Bane,
100%. Because he got murderized.
That mask is supposed to be scary in Bane. Like you should show Tom Hardy's face. That's way scarier than a fucking mask, dude.
It's wild how he's like a foot shorter than me. I'd still be. I'm still scared of him. Yeah. But we go to the first fight. There's you hear Brian Callen. You hear the commentators say like, "Who is this dude?" Blah blah blah. He's gonna get his ass kicked. Blah blah blah. And then he comes out, one punches the guy.
Yeah.
And everyone's like, "Uh-oh." Everyone reacted immediately, and then he knocks the guy out with one punch. He's just like, and then he just punches the door open and walks away. That's the scariest shit ever. So good. So
the commentators are talking about like, hey, this guy's real deal. Like we saw a video of him like opening the tank. Like he and Brian Callen's like, he opened the tank. And then the other guy was like, yeah, that's cool and all, but the tank don't punch back. And I'm like, that's such a dope phrase, because again, we're paying montage to Bruce Lee but also it doesn't really work when it's a fucking tank. Because you know what? The tank actually does punch back. It's a fucking tank.
Like, also, you don't punch tanks. Tanks can take a punch.
But tanks
that's
also
not how you defeat a tank.
Yeah, it's not the same thing as the brick don't fight back. Like no, the tank actually does fight back. The tank has bullets and it does fight back. The
tank is made of hardened steel. Let's remember that. But what a way to show, like, again, I didn't know that that tidbit you said about the trivia about he's not good at fight choreography. It's like, how do we show that he's a badass without having him be choreographed? I know. We'll just have him knock the fuck out of this dude. Yeah. And then, but the way he leaves is almost like he's mad that he won so quick.
I took it as, I'm mad that you brought me out here I took this as a Matt Damon Go With Hunting. You know how easy this shit is for me? You know how easy this is for me? Like I'm upset that you got me out of bed for this. Like I was fucking watching Looney Tunes, and now I missed 2 episodes because I had to come out here to do this fucking shenanigan for you, And all right, here.
You know what I started doing? Actually, I started doing that thing that he does before the fight, where he's just his legs are up against the wall.
Oh,
you know, he's like on his back and his legs.
Yeah,
are
he's stretching his hips. He's stretching his hips.
Yeah. I saw that, and then after the movie, I went upstairs and I did it, and I was like, "This does feel good."
It's where it stretches your hips. Yeah, it's
and this is like, wait, I'm sorry, I fucking lost my place.
After Tommy gets out of the ring, immediately he rings out.
Yeah.
And then we go to Brendan's first fight, which is him beating the guy named Midnight, which is the naming of this guy, Midnight. Do you remember the name of the black pilot in Top Gun?
Yeah, it's Midnight. No?
That's what I'm saying.
Oh, yeah. That's not name. Yeah. I mean, well, his name is Midnight Lee, which is also confusing.
Which is also hilarious. I'm like, but I just love the fact that they're like, this guy's really black. What should we name his character? Midnight.
Do you think he's a real guy? Do you think he's an actual fighter?
I don't know.
Because there's a lot of real fighters that they have to have a lot of real fighters in this movie.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I wonder. I'm not gonna type Midnight. I'm not gonna go looking. But
is Midnight a real fighter?
But I will say this: while that fight, so then it cuts back to where you can see again lots of stuff in the TVs in the background. Everything feels very interconnected, solid filmmaking. And then Brendan's in his locker room dealing with Frank Grillo's Beethoven obsession. Like it's just like enough with the Beethoven already. And you can see
this is a staple of Frank's training. If you need a staple of Frank's,
and then the announcer's expressing that they don't know, like, so you can see he's unsure, justifiably so. Like he's like, I could get my ass kicked. He's a lot of stuff on the line. And then the announcers are like, yeah, who is this motherfucker? And they pull out a goldfish to make fun of him. Like, where did he get the goldfish?
They didn't even say who is he. Like, we know who he is. He has a fight. We know who he is, but he wasn't that good. He
wasn't good then, know. That was like, and then the corner man comes out, and Frank Grillo is like, "Remember, you asked for this." Like, Jesus, somebody say something positive, hey, you can do it, buddy, or something. And then Brendan's fighting style is basically to let them get super confident, almost overconfident, by beating the shit out of you, and then turn it around, and then that's his fighting style. He gets saved by the bell multiple times in this movie. Yeah. And then it keeps cutting back to like this is in the opposite of Tommy's fight where it was over so quickly. They keep cutting back to like the principal and everyone and his wife and his dad and his students and everybody's just like, oh, like could you imagine if like you're like, yay, and then the first fucking round you see the guy you're cheering for just like get demolished and you're just like, oh, we hyped this up. Oof. We have a thing, and oh boy, this is bad. And then Midnight gets too confident, and then you start to see the professor take over, and you get to see Brandon Conlon's what is he? It's like the opposite of like when you tell a girl to relax when they're fighting that joke, where like the fight you could just hear Frank Grillo yelling, "Calm down." Calm down. It's like there's a man trying to kill me in here.
Breathe.
Like, breathe.
Breathe. Oh, is that what I'm supposed to be doing, Coach? Is that what I'm supposed to be doing?
Is that right?
This whole time I was holding my breath.
This whole time. Oh, okay. Oh, all right. Now, bang, bang, bang. It's over. Okay. I was breathing wrong. That's the problem. Yeah. I was not breathing right.
Which is a thing. If you start hyperventilating, if you start holding your breath, because when you're in these physical things, you start holding your breath and you forget to. You really do forget to breathe. But I get it.
And then so he gets the submission. Everybody's like, you can see the way that the announcer, again, the structure of the filmmaking solid. The announcer's like, what is happening? Oh, he got him in a Kimura. Oh, what's happening? And they're like, there's like,
he's got him in a deep Kimura. That's a deep Kimura.
He's got a deep. And then finally he wins. He gets the tap. You can even see you can see Midnight. He's just like, that sucks. He's bummed out. He's like, damn, I lost. And then his wife gets notified in an old school 90s Nokia phone. And so now she's like happy, like, hey, but like, could you imagine the text message where it says I won? And imagine if it would have just been like a text message.
I'll be home. I'll be home in 25 minutes. I'll be home in this. It's a short drive from Atlantic City to. I'll be home in a couple hours.
let's see. We get a quick summary of Brendan's fight, and we start turn the tide. It's blah 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 blah. And then so it's going back and forth between Brendan's progression through the tournament and then Tommy's progression through the tournament. He comes out for his next fight looking like a straight up monster. He does that again. That's got to be scary to see that dude, because they really make a point of showing that he's all rage. He's a barbarian, you know?
Yeah. And
it's a complete opposite fighting style of his brother, which is technician, waiting for his moment to act and all that stuff. And like I said, I was like, you could describe Tommy's fighting style as a form of like, how would you, a meat tenderizer or some sort of like heavy equipment jackhammering, some sort of like finesse-less brutality, and the anti-professor, if you will. So you have the yin and the yang, and then we get another victory with all that stuff. And then once all the fighting is out of the way, then we can get back to Nick Nolte and Tom Hardy doing some quote unquote acting in the casino.
Acting.
This was a bad one too. Every time there's an exchange, Nick Nolte's just getting brutalized by words this whole movie.
Yeah. I think he takes the bigger beating in the whole movie, as far as the movie is concerned. Not saying undeserved, but he takes a fucking beating. This guy. Yeah.
So, do we pass anything that you wanted to mention or talk about? I think we
no. Brendan's fight, his right spear waiting for a text. Brendan's second fight against again win is by submission. Tess is hyped now. She's watching on TV. Tommy wins the second fight by beatdown. Again, immediately leaves the cage. After the first night of fights, before the final day, that's when Patty gets he attempts to talk to Tommy, but his actions in Iraq, on the casino floor. Tommy angrily dismisses his father, letting him out his pent-up frustrations. As a result, Patty relapses and starts drinking again. Seeing his father in pain, Tommy calms and comforts him, resulting in thus resurrecting the relationship. That was a hard fucking scene to watch.
So those are, I think, so there's like two. Those are two big scenes, right? Like because in the casino, he's like trying to bond with him, not as his dad, but as a war buddy, right? Like as a fellow vet, because he's like, what did you see over there? And blah, 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 which I think it's like such a touchy subject to add. Like, again, so many different layers of existence are happening, you know, like of like working man tribulations. And then you know, a son telling a father who was a bad dad when he was young that it's too late. He's like, hey man, it's too late. And then he says to about him and Brendan, it's like, we have absolutely no use for you. Could you imagine hearing that? And then brutal. He throws a bunch of quarters at him, like, you know, like to get him off. Like I forget the line he uses, but he throws a bunch of. And I was like, the whole time I was like, see, this is why I don't have kids. I couldn't handle this. I can't handle like being told that we have absolutely use for this.
You know what you do? You could have kids and not beat their mom.
Exactly. Again, my dad was chill. My mom, they were divorced, but they were fine. You know, there's not like I mean, I'm sure there's trauma there, but of other kind, but not that. You know, like come on. But like,
you got two Christmases out of it. Come on, man.
I get double holidays, baby. But it is like we have absolutely no use for. It's too late. It's too late. Feels like the nail in the coffin there, because the next morning you see like this is the Oscar clip. This is the clip in the Oscars of what, like, because with the rest of the movie, you could see him trying so hard, and then that's when he's quoting Moby Dick. Like, you get the Moby Dick reference about like the alcoholic chasing something of forgiveness to the point of obsession that it burns him out. You know, like all of this stuff. It's such a good moment, and then you could just see the way that Tom Hardy gets him in the bed. And just kind of like wraps his legs around him and just kind of holds him there for a second. I was like, bro, like this like legitimately the first time I saw this movie, I cried because it was like such a heavy moment.
I cried multiple times.
Such a heavy moment.
I cried multiple times during this viewing of the movie. It's my 10th fucking viewing. I've cried. Yeah.
Bro, it's so good. The forgiveness that comes is like so like powerful when you see him finally break where he realizes it. It's like this is a God. It's such a good movie. It's like and I even wrote, I was like, this scene is in an MMA movie. It's like no, MMA is in a this scene movie. You know what I mean? Like that. Like it feels like perfectly balanced. Like this is so good. and then that I feel like because of that, he's able to like when he fights Brendan later, there's like a different energy to it, I think. But there's that moment of like when he holds the dude like that, like so crushing. It's so good. It's like amazing. It's like one of those things where like it hurts, but you know you're watching something good. And then we go back to the final day of fighting. Now we're in the home stretch. Tommy's first fight of the day. This is the first fight for this round. Is against the dude that he beat in the sparring match, who's been talking mad shit the whole time.
Yeah.
Mohawk
guy. The Mohawk guy.
And
Mad Dog, his name.
Mad Dog, yeah. Let's see.
There's a nice little build up to the fight as a redemption fight for Mad Dog.
Yeah.
And Tommy again makes quick work of him.
Again, yeah, it's literally like again. I love seeing a big like a smart ass get humbled. Tommy, he's like, he's got lucky. He's talking a big game, and then Tommy just comes in there and he's just like he's just murderizing everybody. Yeah. And just the definition of ground and pound. And he beats the shit. I'm pretty sure he killed that guy, right?
Yeah.
Like
that's
I
murder,
believe
right?
the scene of a crime too. Yeah, like this is a crime. What just happened? What he just did is a crime. And it's like so bad. And then, but it's like,
it just reminded me of the scene from The Simpsons where that kid is like, "Leave him alone. He's already dead." Like
he's already dead. Oh man, I did voice to text, and I can't remember. I don't want to say he's got Marin singing to him. I don't know what that means. But he beats the shit out of that guy so soundly that it's like it was like a misdirect. We're like, oh, is it going to be a good fight? Oh no, he won. Okay, moving on. And then we come back to Brendan's town where the students are now.
FYI, Midnight was a real fighter, and he's since passed away. Go ahead.
He has since passed away.
Yeah.
Oh, rest in peace, Midnight.
He was.
That was his real name.
No, his real name was Anthony Johnson.
Oh, okay. But what was his fight name Midnight? Oh, okay.
No, it wasn't. It was not.
It was not. Oh no!
It was not. It was not. But he was an actual MMA fighter. He was actually ranked #1 in the world for some time. Yeah. And then he retired, and then this thing called non-Hodgkin lymphoma got to him.
Oh, bummer.
Yeah,
wow. Rest in peace.
Yeah.
He was great.
Very young. He was very young.
Being ranked #1 in anything in the world is great. Being ranked #1 at UFC, incredible.
Yeah.
What an achievement. So we go back to the students. Brendan's students are organized something like a drive-in where there's like a big screen.
Yeah, it's fantastic. The principal shows up.
Dope. The principal shows up. Everybody is. It's like it's also weird to be like, hey everybody, let's come watch on this giant screen. My professor, my science teacher might get murdered. You know, like, hey everybody, let's come watch my science teacher get CTE. And then we cut to back at the arena. His wife shows up. Suddenly, now everybody's on board.
Yeah.
Now he's proved himself a little bit, and everybody is suddenly. And she's like, "Oh, now I can watch your potential murder in person."
Yeah, it's in person. It's totally fine.
It's there.
Oh, I'm only here for the fight against Koba against the world.
No, I'm not here for the but that's his first fight of the day. It's not even his brother. It's this figure that they've built up to like mythical status. And it's like, remember that guy that everyone says is unbeatable? Remember? Unbeatable? You know, like that's what it felt like.
He's never lost. He's literally never lost.
He's literally never lost. And he's about to lose to a science teacher.
So he's due.
Yeah, he's due. I got as good a chance as anybody.
Never told me the odds.
And then Brendan once again does his best impression of a punching bag. And he harnesses his unique fighting style of letting the other guy just get tired from beating and suplexing him.
Like, I want to hurt his fist.
Yeah.
I want his fist to be sore from hitting me so much.
He's going to get tired eventually. He's going to get tired. He's going to get tired. And then, so after 2 rounds of this, Frank Grillo sits him down and straight up tells him, hey, if you don't knock him out, you don't have a house. Like straight up.
So this is what I wrote. He says, Frank tells Brendan, why are we here? Are we here to win this fight? Because if we're not, I'll throw in the towel, we'll get tests, and we'll go home. Yeah. You don't knock him out, you lose the fight. And he says, you don't knock him out, you don't have a home. And that I'm getting emotional right now. Like it's so fucking powerful because he goes, "Hey, if you don't think we could fight, if we could win, we'll get tested. We'll go home. The thing is, if you don't win this fight, you don't have a home." And it's like, holy fuck. I was like, geez. And I wrote down here, it is the greatest motivational fight speech in movie history. Fucking bar none. I don't give a fuck. Like, I put my name on that. I'll stand 10 toes on that. The greatest motivational fight speech. Like, what else is there to say? Like, motherfucker, you don't have a home if you don't win.
That's what I'm saying about this movie. Everybody's got the motivations. You know, sometimes motivations feel fabricated a little bit where they're like, I'm here to defend my honor from something. And you're like, okay.
I'm here to this guy killed my best friend. And so I'm gonna he killed my best friend in a fight that my best friend signed up for and egged him on. But then he was talking shit. So then he was, you know, whatever. And then you know, what the geopolitical motivations are there. And then,
I'm here to fight for America. Whatever, man.
I'm here to fight for my house, motherfucker. Like my actual house.
My house and my family, you know.
My kids are gonna be out on the fucking street in 3 weeks, which, by the way, we haven't even started packing.
Well, this is just inefficient. This is how much we've invested. This is how much I believe in myself. I told you, put those fucking boxes away. Don't put anything off the shelves. I'm gonna win this fight.
Burn the boats. Burn the
boats. That's a great line. Round 3 starts, and you think it's gonna be different, and you're like, all right, the tide's gonna turn. Nope, still getting his ass handed to him. And then suddenly the professor gets an idea. That's what's been wrong this whole time. Remember the Beethoven. And he's just, if I had to deal with Frank Grillo just yelling Beethoven at me, I'd be like, all right, I'll end it. Okay. But I like the idea. The idea is that he wasn't thinking clearly enough while he was getting beat. Like, oh, that's right. I'll do this instead, as opposed to just getting his ass handed to him. And then he gets the lock in. And everyone's losing their minds. Could Koba submit? Koba's gonna get what is it? It's Koba?
Yeah, Koba, yeah.
Koba, yeah. You know, you say a word so many times.
It's Koba and the 2 strings.
yeah. And then he gets him in a leg lock, and then you could hear Frank Grillo's just yelling, like, break his fucking leg. Like, break it. I was like, break it. That's some sweep the leg Johnny energy, some Cobra Kai energy coming from Frank Grillo, who's all about peaceful classical music. He's just like, snap it. And again, there's all that big thing of finding time. Remember when we said he was unbeatable? The movie says winkingly. Yeah. And then it's like, and then all over the land, the people rejoice. It cuts to everybody just like losing their shit. Yeah. It's almost like this movie has like 2 victory moments, multiple victory moments. Yeah. That in any other movie, they would be the climax. Right? But this movie's got layers, baby. Because after the climax of all of this win, CNN breaking news. Thank you, convenient news broadcast.
CNN's position.
But I like how it's breaking news. Like they interrupted something to be like, this, we interrupt your real news to bring you this fight tournament MMA bullshit news, you know? And then
Tommy's actually a criminal.
Yes. The true story of Tommy is revealed. Of Tommy's story is revealed.
Deserting his unit.
Yeah. He deserted his unit after it was bombed by his own people. It was a friendly fire issue. He was the only one that survived. Pilar, the woman that he had been on the phone with, that he had said he would help take care of.
Manny's wife was it now fully reveals the story. So before he's like, oh, he just deserted. No, he was a victim of friendly fire where his whole unit was killed except for him. He's the only one that lived. So he's got now everything you've seen so far is just emotional damage.
And oh yeah, by the way, they're brothers. We learned his real name was Tommy Conlon. And oh wait, there's another guy named Conlon. And like, oh no! And I love that reveal. Like, how many more layers?
Yeah, that line is like the 2 guys meeting in the finals are brothers. Is like mom put the fine china away. The boys are at it again. And like, oh, that's such a great line. That's such a great line.
But it's crazy, like, because the outside perspective is like, oh, that's weird. Isn't that crazy? Oh, wow. But in the movie perspective, you're like, there's so much emotional trauma going on right now. There's so many layers, you know. And we've talked about it a lot, but there's this is genuinely one of those fights where I didn't know who to root for. I didn't know when I first watched this movie who was going to win. Right?
I had no idea. I had no idea. Yeah.
I couldn't speculate one or the other. I didn't know who I wanted to win. You know, like I didn't know what I thought would be the most reward. I was just watching it as if it was like a true fight. And I don't think I've ever watched any Kickflix movie the same way. Yeah. Where I'm like, I know who the hero is most of the time. I know who the villain is. I know who I want to win. I know if this guy wins, it would be bad for the story, not rewarding. But in this movie, it's like a testament to how good the structure is.
Yeah.
That it's like, man, I don't know. And I will say this, I had to rewind a bunch because I just stopped taking notes and I was just watching.
So, can we go, because we only got 15 minutes because we got a limit. So the movie's fantastic and it's great. I'm just trying. So Brandon shows desire to reconcile, but Tommy, still in pain, shows no interest of doing so. Tommy wins the first 2 rounds handedly because, again, Brandon is going into his fight mode of like, let me tire his fist out.
Yeah.
Let me with my face. Let me just
Which fits perfectly with the meat tenderizer style of Tommy.
Of course. Which is perfect. But Brandon eventually, at the end of round 2, dislocates Tommy's shoulder with an arm lock. At the end of round 3, as the 4th round starts, Brandon insists that Tommy give up, and Tommy's only using one arm. He even tells Frank, he's like, I heard it snap, and he goes, good, let's break the other one. Like, I don't give a fuck.
Man, this is Cobra Kai shit.
It's just break. I literally put he was like invoking his Cobra Kai-ness, and he was like, oh, you heard it snap? Yeah, I heard it snap. Good, break the next one.
This is a moment also where I did write down where like Tommy's got nobody in his corner, right? So he's just there, like you see him pacing and just like kind of losing his shit, which is like, I don't know. It was like very difficult. He had like, because the corner is all about strategy and all that stuff. Oh, calm down, breathe. Beethoven. And then Tommy's just over there like, my arm hurts and I want to murder somebody. And it's literally dangling. Like it's like dangling from his shoulder. And then it starts like, Dad walks into the arena. It's dangling the shoulder. Everything kind of culminates at this final round. And bro, when that soundtrack song kicks in,
fire!
Yo, I was
fire. Like, it's so good.
I'm like hitting my way, it's so good. And then it's like
he tries to get
so many metaphors.
Brendan's trying to get Tommy to quit, to give up. Tommy's not going to give up.
I'm getting emotional right now.
Yeah, Tommy's not going to give up. Brendan unloads a barrage of strikes trying to win. Tommy asks Brendan to continue hitting him. Tommy literally says, keep hitting me. And then at the start of the 5th round, Brendan realizes that he has to force Tommy to submit because this guy's not going to give up. He's just not. And he traps him in a rear naked chokehold as they struggle. Yeah.
It's so good. He has him right in like literally in the position that he was holding his dad in earlier. And he's like, it's okay. It's okay to tap. Yeah. It's okay to submit. He's letting him know that it's safe. Oh my God, it's so good.
He says, as they struggle for the canvas, Brandon apologizes to Tommy.
Yes.
And tells him that he loves him. He says, I'm sorry. And he's, oh, fuck.
Bro. It's so good.
And then he apologizes. And then Tommy, this is what Wikipedia wrote, right? Because I write my own things, but then I go to Wikipedia and kind of do like a compare and contrast. And then Wikipedia wrote, so Tommy tells him that he loves him. Tommy submits after hearing the words. Like Tommy was never going to give up, but when he heard the words from his brother, like that's where their reconcile happened, is in the octagon, in this moment of physical pain and all this. I
love you, Tommy. And then you see the
tap. Fucking brutal.
I'm crying over an MMA movie. It's so fucking good. And then the tap happens. Everybody's losing their minds. And as people are coming towards him, the fight doctors want to come in. Brendan is literally like pushing people away. Like, this ain't about you. Get the fuck away from my bro. It's so good. The fact that they're like pushing him out of the way, and then now they both walk out of the ring like, fuck this. This isn't about you. This is about us. And they're like, and the final shot of the movie is like, let me take my broken brother and my $5 million and live my life. Oh, God,
first of all, the way they're holding
movie.
each other, correct? Because Brendan is holding Tommy,
yes,
because he's injured and he's holding on. He has own, and Tommy, who up until this point has been like, "Get the fuck away from me! Don't even touch me," to everybody, is now
leaning into him,
and holding Brandon's hand. So there's that, and then they pass by Patty, and they give Patty the fucking nod.
Yeah,
they give Patty the hey. They don't tell Patty to go fuck off, but they tell Patty to give him a nod, which that is a victory for Patty as far as Brendan is concerned.
Everybody winning, man. Everybody winning. It's so good.
I don't know. There's a smile from Patty as they're walking away. There's a smile from Patty. Goes, you guys got, like, he's so proud of both his boys. Woo! Like,
God, it's so good.
Yeah, it's so good, man.
It's so good.
It's fantastic. That's the end of the movie.
That's literally how the movie ends. I think it's a perfect ending. It culminates perfectly. If we're gonna rank the movie, we're gonna do it, of course, but like, I think it's obvious how I've been wanting to do this since we started Kickflix. If you go back and watch the old episodes, it's been on the wheel since day one.
Yeah.
We don't really do the wheel anymore because it was like, I want to talk about Warrior right now.
Yeah.
I can't tell you how much I love this movie. Nary, I think it's pretty clear what I'm going to give it.
3.5 out of 5.
3.5 is a recommend. Nah, man, I'm going to give
5
it.
out of 5,
I'm going to give 5 demons in a bottle out of 5. 5 Beethovens up your ass out of 5.
I'm gonna go with 5 titty bar fights out of 5.
5. Yeah. 5 having to explain to your boss why your face is all beat up out of 5.
I like the fact that he didn't even have to explain it. He didn't have to explain it.
Nobody has. It was like,
we saw the video. We saw the video.
Yeah, man, it's so good. 5 Nick Nolte Oscar snubs out of 5.
Correct.
This movie is fantastic.
Yeah, it's fantastic. It's fantastic. So my turn to pick the next movie for next week, and the movie's fantastic. If you haven't watched this movie, first of all, why are you watching this episode, listening to this episode? If you haven't seen this movie,
if you're watching this,
absolutely
watch.
You should absolutely go watch this movie. It is a fantastic watch for anybody. This is not, like we've said, not just a quote unquote fight movie, not just an MMA movie. This is a powerful drama that happens to have fighting as a backdrop, but it is fucking all levels. Yeah.
All around just great.
Because of this movie had martial arts in it, and because it had a Marine in it, and it had which is another powerful scene when the Marines are singing their fucking their song, their fight song, and then he gives a little nod to the Marines. He's like, that's the only acknowledgement Tommy has ever given throughout this whole competition. That was a powerful scene too.
Yes, absolutely.
Because this movie has the military in it, because my thread, my daisy chain, is going to be my little connection is military fight scenes, is military fighting, is going to be Universal Soldier. So we're going from one Oscar snub movie to another Oscar snub movie.
Equal caliber movie.
I want to go, we talk about somebody that just wants to go home. Somebody who just wants to go home. There's so many parables. There's so many parallels.
Oh man,
to this movie,
Oh dude, of all the things you could have said, I would have gambled. I would have never known. I would have never won that one.
Well, here's the thing, man. Here's the thing. We have to this is something that I realized watching Warrior. Is like, the better the movie is, the harder it is to write comedy.
Yeah.
Because it gets, and again, I think Warrior is the best. I put this on, but everybody who knows me knows that I love Rocky. I put Warrior above Rocky. Like, that's how much I hold in high esteem that I hold this movie Warrior in. So I don't think that there's going to be another movie, no matter how good the movie is, that's going to be as hard to write comedy than Warrior is, because I feel like Warrior is the best movie that we could pick, right? It's, as far as quote unquote fight movies.
I believe this might be,
but
the
I
best
also wanted to go
film.
swing wanted to go swing the opposite direction. It's like, what's another movie that's not good but we love? And it's going to be Universal Soldier. It's going to be Universal Soldier.
Yeah, my picks are either I love this movie, or like because it's good, or I love this movie because it's bad.
Right.
By the Sword is one that I would like to keep doing a martial arts movie that I've never seen.
Sure.
That might.
I'm
in that. Those. I'm on the lookout for those as well. But there's movies we love because they're good, and there's movies that we love in spite of what they are.
In spite of what they are. And there's and I will say 12-year-old Nery would die in the hill that Universal Soldier is a great movie.
It's great.
The 12-year-old Nery has kid eyes. So
exactly. And we'll get into that next week next episode when we go into Universal Soldier from 1992, rated R.
Rated R.
Thank you everybody for watching. Please consider liking, sharing, and subscribing to Kickflix Pod on all social media platforms. Mike Mercadal at Nery Saenz, or the GeekBro Podcast Network. If you're watching this on YouTube, that's the channel you're on right now. You can click on the links. You can send us email suggestions to kickflixpod@gmail.com. Right? That's the email?
Yeah.
kickflixpod@gmail.com.
Yeah.
You can email your suggestions or send it to us on social media. We if there's a under the radar Kickflix movie that you think we should cover, do it, because I'm on the lookout for things that are new to me. They may not be new to the world, but they're new to us.
All right.
Thank you everybody for watching. Nery, is there anything you'd like to say before we go?
No, that's it. Thank you very much. Appreciate you guys. Thank you very much. We'll see you next week.
That's how
winning is done.
I think thank you for joining us on Kickflix.
Kickflix.
Yeah.